What's up, everybody, and welcome to an all-new episode of Casters of Horror. I'm Chris Mass.
I'm Shane, and this week I was supposed to be reviewing one of my favorite horror movies of all time, but then a new horror movie came out, America.
Yeah. America happened. Well, actually, I should say America happened.
America happened.
We had the election yesterday into this morning. So if you didn't get out and vote, you helped write this story. And if you did go out and vote, you may have written this story as well. This week we are reviewing the documentary called Bad Faith. Reason why we wanted to do this one is because this is a horror film that's actually starting to come true. So the original title for this was Bad Faith, Christian Nationalism's Unholy War on Democracy. Then they just shortened it because the box wasn't that big. According to IMDb, it says it exposes how Christian nationalism has become the most powerful anti-democratic force in America. Leaders join forces to defend our country from this march to fascism, but American citizens seem unaware of the threat. So basically, what this goes into is there is a plan called Project 2025. If you're not familiar with it, go look it up. It's going to be happening this January. It's kind of already started now. If you guys aren't aware, living under a rock, we are back under the rule of President Trump. That just sounds weird to say again. He'll be taking over office in January. And basically what this film documents is the plan going forward, set up by the Heritage Foundation. And but we'll get a little bit more into that here in a minute. I watched this probably about 2 months ago. Shane watched it today. So he's got a little bit more of a fresh take on it than I do. I know a lot of the talking points, but Shane, what did you...
one of the things I told you too is, like, technically I already knew all this stuff, because this is, one of my interests.
Yes.
But it was still nice to see it all in one place.
Yeah.
So...
If you guys want to check out this documentary, it is free on Tubi. You can check it out on there. Which, if you guys don't have a Tubi account, get a Tubi account. Tubi.com. You guys can stream stuff on any sort of Fire Stick or Roku device, or you can just watch it online. So it's well worth checking out. There's a ton of horror movies on there as well, not just documentaries. So make sure you guys get yourself an account over there.
Movies that are actually meant to be horror movies and not just, documentaries about real life horror.
Real life horror that we're experiencing.
And that's kind of one thing you had mentioned, that this was, about like Project 2025, and it is, but even more than that. And I think this is really important. And one of the reasons I think people should watch this is because this actually goes way back, right? Further back than that. We're talking back Reagan days, if not sooner than that. And it talks about the one of the things that I have tried to get people to understand before is, and I'm glad they brought this up in this documentary, is about how, like, abortion really wasn't a major talking point in the church, and especially like in the Christian churches, the evangelical community. It was, in fact, the desegregation that pissed off all these religious leaders so badly. Right. And so that's what basically started the whole moral majority movement and the plot to take over America. And that sounds, I know how that sounds, but, like, familiarize yourself with, Lance Wallnau, the New Apostolic Reformation, the Seven Mountains Mandate, which they go into in detail in this. And it is
I was going to bring that up here in a minute.
It is a decades-long plan that they started and have just slowly weaseled their way into, our government.
It's
and
now we're there. We're there. We, with not only the GOP taking over the presidency. They also took over the Senate. It still has not, I believe it still has not come to clarity whether or not they took over the House or not.
Yeah. Well, they already had the House. Whether they retain it, we don't know for sure. Yeah, but
so my dog's playing again. sleeps all day and decides to play when I start podcasting. So great.
Well, it's all right. We'll take some squeaky noise to
lighten the mood a little bit.
Yeah.
So
and look, we know that this is a bit of an oddball episode.
Yeah.
But Chris, you and I have lived this,
right?
And I think that's why we felt like for a horror movie channel, we have lived these horrors.
Oh yeah, you and I both grew up in fundamentalist church, and I mean fundamentalist as far as like, well, yeah, it is fundamentalist, evangelical, charismatic churches, all that sort of stuff, and we grew up hearing about all these things and in the prophecies of the end times and all this sort of stuff. And now we're starting to see these prophecies coming to fruition through self-made ways. Like they're fulfilling them. Like he's like, oh, if somebody's going to do it, I'm going to do it, and it's
to fulfill what they think is biblical prophecy.
Yeah. So anyway, it's crazy what's going on, but
it is a full systematic takeover, right? This is not hyperbolic. They go through how they started getting into education and media. Right. And entertainment, obviously government, the family, into your personal space. This is an attempted takeover. And, Chris, you and I have watched, well, first of all, understand that when a domestic terrorist organization like the one that is pulling the strings of Donald Trump, their stated goals, their actual written stated goals would get rid of the content that we review on this channel.
Yes, it would. Yes, it would.
It would completely eliminate that.
Yeah, and that's another reason why we wanted to bring this up, because I was telling Shane earlier today, I'm like, this could be the end of Casters of Horror. It very well could be. So this affects not just the horror movie industry, but they're going to be watching everything that's produced. They're going to throttle back everything that's produced. This goes into everything like horror films, too much violence, language, adult content. So say goodbye to your adult films, anything like that. Everything is going to be regulated. This is coming from the small party, small government, government. So we're getting all sorts of crazy. How many people have clicked off by now?
You know what? And I even thought that too. Good riddance. I'd say go. This is real. We lived this. I can tell you that some of the organizations, right, that you may have heard of, these are real organizations. These are real goals, and they're not pie in the sky goals. They are goals that they are actually accomplishing as we speak.
Yeah.
Right.
And you and I have talked a lot in the past too about conspiracy theories and we had a podcast for a while where it was conspiracy theories and Bigfoot and aliens and all that sort of stuff, just because it was fun to talk about. This is something where it is an ideal that is true. This is not a conspiracy theory. So plus, these things are being set up.
With conspiracy theories, it's always like, oh, it's hidden info. This info is not hidden. They are very open and upfront about it. They are not trying to hide this from anyone.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It is happening. And I don't know. Frankly, I'm so sick of warning people about this. As someone who lived it for 3 decades, even longer than, I'm sick of this. I'm sick of warning people about it. And if you have a problem with us doing this episode, then bye.
So yeah,
I feel like
hell out of here.
Get the hell out of here. I feel like it should be clear by now that we are pretty progressive on here. We did a Pride Month series of reviews.
Yeah,
right? We are inclusive and allies or participants or whatever that you would say that. So yeah, I don't feel like we've been shy about that. So if you have a problem with it, then take off. Go ahead and leave us hate comments though, so you can help us.
Yeah, algorithm helps. Yeah. So, but again, check out this documentary. It's called Bad Faith. It is on Tubi. You guys can check it out there. It is free. Tubi is free. If I have not said that, it is free.
It is free.
And it is worth doing. Yeah. So,
Chris, I feel like I talked a lot on this one, and you didn't really say much. I'm sorry for that, but I'm just
no. It's I think we talked an ample amount on it, but we wanted to do this one this week because it's hard to just jump back into the regular norm with something as big as what happened here in this country. It's hard to just go back to your normal life. Yeah. And this one is like we've said multiple times, this is a real life horror film.
Yeah.
So go check it out. Bad Faith on Tubi. Let us know down in the comments what you guys think. If you voted, where you guys stand on everything. We'd love to hear from you. Just put it down in the comments down below. And while you're there, make sure to hit like and subscribe or unsubscribe. Whatever. Yeah. So like, dislike, it's up to you guys. But we hope you guys join us again next week as we review another film. Shane, you got anything else before we close out? Okay. We'll be back to our hopefully we'll be back next week. We got at least until January, so we'll keep rolling stuff out until then. You guys will get our end of the year review of our top 5. So we'll at least get all that out of here before January rolls around. But until next week, folks, I am Chris Mess.
I'm Shane.
And this has been a funeral. Get the hell out of here. We'll see you guys.
We're in black.